my phone started buzzing, and I looked down to several messages letting me know that Hillary Rodham Clinton, of all people, had just published an op-ed in The Atlantic focused on yours truly and my book called Toxic Empathy, How Progressives Exploit Christian Compassion. And this article is titled MAGA's War on Empathy. Now, if I had made a list of predictions for 2026, this would not have been on the list. So I want to take this very unexpected opportunity to do a few things. Number one, I want to respond to the misrepresentations that are made in this article. Number two, I want to highlight the hypocrisy of Hillary Clinton's claims. And number three, I want to encourage you. This article might mention me by name, but it is not actually about me, because the truth is, if it weren't for all of you, Hillary Clinton would not care about me. It is because of your presence, because of your courage, because of your resolve, your influence over this and future generations that Clinton is writing this article. And if there is ever a time to stand firm and to double down, it is right now. And then number four, lastly, I want to make an honest appeal to Secretary Clinton and the audience that she is trying to reach with this article. Now, as a preface to help us kind of get our bearings, I want to set up the context, the why for this article coming out right now, because my book is not new. It came out in October of 2024. The discussions and the debates are not new. It became a New York Times bestseller right after its publication, largely because of this immediate reaction, which truly was, by the way, unexpected and unintended by me, just the immediate offense that it caused. But it caused all of this buzz in the media simply because of the first two words of its title. Let me read you just a few of the headlines of the articles that have been written about this book in the past year. We've got the New York Times, How Empathy Became a Threat, which is about my book. The Atlantic, The Conservative Attack on Empathy, about my book. Salon, MAGA's War on Empathy was started by a woman. New York Magazine, The Christians Who Believe Empathy is a Sin, which, by the way, is not the title of my book and is not really the argument, but these misrepresentations are common. The Guardian, Loathe Thy Neighbor. Also not my argument. Elon Musk and the Christian right are waging war on empathy. So this has been written over and over and over again, and it's always the same mischaracterizations and the same argument. So why, again, why now? Why Hillary Rodham Clinton? The deeper reason first, before I get to the obvious kind of superficial reason, the deeper reason is so incredibly clear to me, and that is that we are over the target. We have gotten to the heart of progressive manipulation. We looked at their lies straight in the face, that abortion is healthcare, that trans women are women, that no human being is illegal, and we said, no, I see what you're doing, and we are going to give that a name. And not only that, but we're not buying it anymore. You aren't going to exploit my compassion to support policies that are bad for my family and bad for the country. No longer am I going to allow my emotion to paralyze my critical thinking. And now they're afraid. This is the tool that progressives have used to capture women for a very long time. And they thought they had the female vote in the bag forever. So when you have a woman, a Christian, a wife, a regular suburban mom talking to other Christian wives and moms about critical thinking and biblical truth, they know they're in trouble. When we've got 7,000 women, by the grace of God, showing up from around the world to our No Fluff Christian Women's Conference, and even the Washington Post has to write about that, they're looking at that. They're looking at y'all, and they're thinking, shoot, this is a thing, isn't it? Like, this is getting out of our control. 2020, they looked at the landscape of Instagram and they thought, okay, we almost have a total monopoly on female compassion. Now in 2026, their hold has weakened a whole lot, and that is because of y'all. They don't trot out former Secretary of State, former presidential candidate Hillary Clinton unless they are really worried. But why this moment? Why right now? Hillary Clinton tells us. The right-wing Christian podcaster Allie Beth Stuckey called the sermon toxic empathy that is in complete opposition to God's word and in support of the most satanic, destructive ideas ever conjured up. Toxic empathy! What an oxymoron, Hillary Clinton says. I don't know if the phrase reflects moral blindness or moral bankruptcy, but either way, it is appalling. This is certainly not what I was taught in Sunday school, not what my reading of the Bible teaches me, and not what I believe Jesus preached in his short time on earth. However, this example that she gives, that I responded to, that I said is an example of toxic empathy and represents some of the most evil ideas on earth, is not in the quote that she gave of the sermon. She is betting that you will not actually go to my tweet and see the speech that I was responding to. What I'm responding to is this so-called bishop support of quote unquote trans kids. Here's that one.
In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now. There are gay, lesbian, and transgender children in Democratic, Republican, and independent families, some who fear for their lives. And the people who pick our crops and clean our office buildings, who labor in poultry farms and meatpacking plants, who wash the dishes after we eat in restaurants and work the night shifts in hospitals, they may not be citizens or have the proper documentation, but the vast majority of immigrants are not criminals.
I had forgotten about J.D. Vance's awesome facial expressions as that woman is giving her rant. When she says trans kids, he looks at his wife like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. And that is what we all feel. But it's not only ridiculous, it's also evil. The idea that a child could be born in the wrong body, the idea that a child should go on puberty blockers or should change the hormonal makeup or the body that God providentially gave them is not only unbiblical, it is downright wicked. And it leads to a life of brokenness for that child. And so, yes, it is evil. That is the Christian position. And it is toxic empathy that leads someone to feel so deeply for a person who says they were born in the wrong body, that to actually condone a practice or a policy that ends up maiming their body. It's really important to us that you subscribe to Blaze TV. I'm so thankful for everyone who watches on YouTube and watches on Apple Podcasts. It's really important to me to have a free version of this podcast for everyone to be able to access. But we can put different kind of content behind the paywall, and it's also a way to protect ourselves from censorship. Go to blazetv.com/Allie. You can subscribe, get access to all that content.